This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, discounted prices, miniaturemarket.com.
Hello my friends, it's the Game Boy Geek here. Today it's all about towers and spires, because that's what we're going to be building in our own tableau. We're trying to build the right amount, not too many, not too little, in this trick-taking style card game that's not really trick-taking, more on that later. This is Spires. It's from Nevermore Games, and it's designed by T.C. Petty III. And it's for 1 to 4 players. So let me show you all about it, and then I'll see you on the other side. In Spires, you'll be building a tableau of light-kind castles of colors. And there's actually 6 different suits, or colors if you will, and you'll notice that they range. Different ones range in different numbers. Now the key of this game is building the right amount, because if you have 3 or less of a certain color, each of those cards are worth 5 points. So this is 5, 10, 15 points. This one's worth 5. However, if you have more than 3, each card's worth -1. So this is worth -1, 2, 3, 4. So if you go from 3, which is 15 points, you get 1 more card that goes to a -4 score for that color. The game is played over multiple rounds, and each round there'll be cards dealt to these different markets. There's 3 markets for 3 or 4 players. There's only 2 markets if you're playing with 2 players. Now each player has some cards. You're trying to secretly guess and try to see which market you're trying to win this card. So essentially, if I'm the green player, I get 3 cards. And each of those cards has market 1, 2, or 3. So I'm going to secretly pick which one I want to go for. I will place it face down. The rest of these will hang in my hand. So let's say all 4 players have played their card, and then once that happens, they flip them over. Now here, this player was the only one to play market 1. If you're the only player, you get to just take this card for free without playing any other cards, place it into your tableau. These 3 are going to be fighting over this card. So each of the members that had played a card that was trying for this market would then place a card face down. Once everyone's done that, you then would reveal. Now this player played on suit with the same color. Now even though these numbers are higher than this, because this player played on suit, this player is going to win even though these numbers are higher. However, if nobody played on suit, it would have been the highest number. In this case, this player would have won. Regardless, the winning player not only takes this card and puts it into their tableau, they take every other card that was played for this one. So they're going to take this, 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 and this. And this is very interesting because you can actually purposely lose to stick your opponents with cards that would make them go over their maximum of 3 cards, getting minus points. These markets would then get filled up again, and this would stay there. Now sometimes a card might come out and it's a bonus card, it's a scroll, it does different things. Sometimes they allow you to discard cards from your tableau, other times they just give you straight points. Sometimes the tableau up here in the middle will get filled up and everyone else that played a card is going to draw back up to their 5 cards. However, if one of those players draws a scroll, they get to decide which market it goes into, making that more appealing for other players. Now let's say 2 people are fighting over this card. And let's say the 2 players played these. This is an architect. Think of an ace, it's the highest one, but it's only the highest one if it's this on suit value. So this is basically the highest one. This would win all 3 cards. However, if this player, instead of playing that one, played this one, even though it's an architect, it's the wrong color, it is a 0. So they could play this. This player would now win all 3, and you do that when you're trying to dodge the trick or stick somebody with something that they don't want. Now there's one other special card, they're wilds. They're the 2 highest cards in the game. Now they don't have a suit, so if you're playing them like this, this is off suit. Both players played off suit, so this would win. However, if this player had played on suit, an on suit card of any type would beat a wild when you're playing for it, when you're playing cards with it to try to win a trick. However, sometimes the wild card is the one people are fighting for. And in this case, the person who's the winner, this is no suit, so the highest card would win it. They're going to get all these cards. After they add these 2 cards, they have to add this to the color that they already have the most of. So this is hard to take those wilds from there. You typically don't want to do that. Now this would continue until the deck completely runs out and all the markets have been gotten. And then you do the scoring, and as I mentioned, if it's 3 or less cards, each of them are worth 5 points. If it's more than 3, each of them are -1 points. After you collect your normal scores, you're then going to look for bonuses. Then we'd look at this player A card and see quills. If you have the majority or tie for the majority of the number of quills on your in your tableau total out of all your colors, you'll get 10 points. For crowns, if you have the most or tied, you get 15. And for swords, if you're tied or have the most, you'll get 20. Whoever has the most points at the end is the winner. Now there is a solo version. There's special market cards with abilities, and you'd want to remove any cards that say are for 3 or 4 players. You would also remove those in games where you're playing with 2 or 3 players as well normally. With the solo game, you're playing against sort of an AI. So there's 3 markets here, and you are going to always compete for whichever market you want. So when the market's filled and you want to go for a specific card, you automatically have, you're going against the AI player. So let's say I want this one, and I go ahead and I play a card to try to win it. I play that one. Well, you take the top card off the deck and you flip it over, and that's the computer player, essentially AI. And look at that. They have on suit, so they would win. All these cards would get discarded. After everything, whether you win or lose, these go away and the market would refill. If you had won that, you would actually have taken your card, the card that you won, the card you played, and the card that came from the AI to your tableau. Also, once per game, you can take one of these abilities and flip it over, and it's basically a one-time ability. This one allows you to look at the top card of the deck and either keep it or place it at the bottom. This one says, hey, you don't even complete this turn. Instead, you just take a card for free from the market and discard the rest. And then this one says you basically return all the cards to the markets, you reshuffle and redeal the market. All right, there is Spires. So let me give you some perspective. I tend to like smaller, quicker filler card games that are easy to teach and fun, but have some interesting decision making to make there. So I typically like these style of games. Now, this one here, first of all, I love the art style. The way that the illustrations of the different towers and spires and the different suit colors and how they all look differently, and I just really love sort of that brushed look that they have up there. So the look and feel of this game is really good. And it is a light card game, but it does have tough decisions to make. You've got the simultaneous guessing, which is huge because as the game goes on, you're trying to figure out, okay, so which one do I want? Ooh, that one's got the crown, that one's got the sword, which one should I go for? Okay, well this one, I'm already going a little heavy on the yellow ones. I probably want to stay away for now. I don't want to get too many. Oh, but that player, they're probably going for the yellow because they don't have any yet. They probably want to get some points down there. So it's really interesting because as the game goes on and as more and more information is revealed as people are grabbing different spires and putting them in front of them in their tableau, that more information steamrolls and snowballs into you having more information, knowing. So it's not just guessing, it's simultaneous action selection, and your ability to guess what you think people are going to do gets better as the game goes on based on what they have. Of course, you can always do the head fake, the double fake, or the double bluff and totally throw people off, and it's good to do that once in a while. But at the beginning, it might feel like random guessing, but as the game goes on, it gets more and more precise, sort of an educated guess or a hypothesis is what people are doing. So I love that simultaneous guessing aspect of it, which then leads me into the simultaneous action of playing. I love how, like, if you're the only one to get one, you don't even have to spend a card, you just get it. But if you are fighting somebody else for it, if you win, you take all the cards, and this is huge. This is like the crux of the game because many times this is almost like a trick avoidance game where you're gonna go over on so many that a lot of times you're like purposely trying to avoid stuff. And it's really interesting because you could go for something knowing, like, you know what, I think that player's gonna go for that. I'm gonna go there too. We're both there. I think they're trying to win this one. I'm gonna throw him a card that he's gonna get stuck with, and it's gonna make them go over. And I love that aspect of this game. This game can be and is very mean if you play it with in that style, because you're literally setting somebody else up to take stuff that they're not supposed to take. They got the thing they wanted, but you also stuck them in their 3 cards that was 15 points, now goes to -4, and you're like, yes. So there's a lot of fun of that mean stuff going on. This is a very unique trick-taking game. Now, it calls itself in the rules a trick-taking game, and theoretically, I guess it's a trick because you're playing cards, the one with the highest on-suit wins, and if there's no on-suit, the highest off-suit wins. From that perspective, it is trick-taking, but nothing else in this game really feels like trick-taking because you get the simultaneous action selection, you've got the tableau building, you've got the set collection. So I would say this is sort of like, it does have a trick-taking element, but I wouldn't call this a trick-taking game. So if you don't like trick-taking games, still take a look at this because there's so many other things. Trick-taking is just like one small element, and even that doesn't even really feel that much like trick-taking. So if in the past you've steered away from trick-taking games, don't write this one off because there's so many other different things going on. I think you might like it. I also like how the player count scales fantastically. either from 1 all the way to 4, with 2 players, there's only 2 markets. So it's like back to back, you're fighting a lot. With 3 and 4 there's a certain amount of cards that are removed. So overall, that was fun too. Any cons? Well, the solo game was good. I didn't mind it, but it helped me learn the game a little bit. But I felt like it was a little too random because you're going for a card, you think you're going to win it, and then this random card comes off the top and does it. And in the real game, it's not really random. People are doing things for a reason, whether to screw you with a card or let you have it or whatever. And this is totally random where you're like, okay, this should totally win this. And then like some random card comes and like, oh man, really? Really? Like, so it can be a little random. Solo games, it's okay. The other thing is this game might be a little too aggressive and mean for some people. So it is a light game, but again, the crux is maybe knowing which cards to take, knowing which cards to let other people take, and knowing which cards to send to other people, which is aggressively mean in a way. So just be known that you are going to be messing with each other and screwing each other over. If you're okay, that's fine. Overall, I love the game. This is fantastic. It kind of reminded me a little bit of Capital Deluxe, but I actually like this one even more with the way that things work. But overall, I loved it, and it is staying in my gaming library. So let's induct it properly with a saxophone serenade.
This video was sponsored by Miniature Market's Review Corner. The Review Corner features podcasts, video, and written game reviews by gamers for gamers. Miniature Market, the online gaming superstore. Thousands of board games, discounted prices. Check them out at miniaturemarket.com.